let's go sketch this Japanese-inspired garden flower. And I'm just using a regular ballpoint pen. This is just a drawing on a note card. I have another note card below it. I like to draw on a slightly softer surface if I can, and the note card below it provides that. Now, as I'm drawing, I am thinking about balancing this flower. I want a delicate lower portion, and I'm going to lightly be defining where I want my side leaf, how this picture starts to take shape. I like the profile of what I imagine a slightly Japanese garden type of flower. And as I'm giving it shape, I'm starting to get ready to put some heavier ink in. This is actually my favorite part. Whether I'm using my pyrography tool or a lead pencil or charcoal or here a ballpoint pen, I really love to be able to get into these crevices with some heavy marks, and I do it by putting pressure in it. Now, one of the things I try to focus on when I'm sketching is to not put those heavy marks everywhere, because what's very entertaining to my eye is the heavier influence in some areas, and in other areas very light or non-existent portions of whatever I'm drawing. And here it's my little side leaf, and the center of this little bud that I'm drawing to the right, I really want it to be light and delicate. It's fun to play around with a lot of different tools. When I was younger, I actually used to get in trouble in school because I would doodle all the time, but I was super hyperactive, and the doodling actually helped me focus. So unfortunately, the teachers at that time didn't see the value, but anyway, that's another story for another day. As I'm sketching into these different portions, I'm also beginning to shade. And I shade with kind of those little marks, hash marks, and sometimes I'm just making it so gentle that you can barely see it. Just a little hint of a spray at the top, because we really see more of a profile of this little Japanese garden flower. And I begin to also see where I might have a natural shadow. That's why underneath that little Japanese head of flower, you see the darker portion. And I just want to play around and give kind of circular motions, light motions, and up to the top. I'm constantly looking up and down and sideways to see if I like the balance of not just the shapes, but the shades. And just giving it a little deeper dynamic in the center, because naturally, if there's a light source, which my light source in my head is more to the left, I'm going to be having some heavier shadows when all these leaves kind of come toward themselves and a little bit underneath the general shape, leaving the top portion of those leaves lighter and in some places not even connected. Now visiting my really pretty little pod here, seed. It's going to make it delicate. I really enjoy the whimsical look of it, giving a little bit of a hash mark on these sides. My little bud. It's actually quite large bud. And then over here, again, continuing that little darker story, giving it a little edge. That's looking good to me. A whimsical suggestion of a flower that I created out of my head, inspired by a Japanese garden. Ballpoint pen is really fun to use, and you can create a lot of little stories in a gentle little drawing. Emotions with a little shading. Thanks so much for joining me today as I sketch with a ballpoint pen and use a little note card. As always, I am wishing you happy illustration creations. Have a great day.